main reactor will be destroyed for sure. This is madness. We're doomed.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books, I love talking about them, I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel database that will contain synopsis and character bios for this issue we're about to look. So, here we go. I looked and searched all over YouTube and hardly found anything to do with the new Star Wars. There was plenty with the old original Marvel Star Wars, but hardly anything with the new Star Wars. Star Wars was re-released by Marvel Comics in 2015. Now, we are going to see two videos today. Video number one is we're just going to go through issue 1. Video number 2 is we're going to do all 100 covers. I was going to do it all together, but each cover is probably going to take, it's just going to take about 30 minutes just on the covers alone. I didn't want to do all that. This is by one of my favorite artists, John Cassaday, and written by Jason Aaron. John Cassaday, I believe, does the first 6 issues. John Cassaday, unfortunately, just doesn't do that many issues. I love his style, absolutely love his style. He combines charcoal and combines dry brush, just so many cool things. So, all right. Every issue of Star Wars, of course, starts with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So, here we go. So this volume, technically it's volume 2, but this takes place, all of these issues will take place between the New Hope and the Empire Strikes Back. So this fills in the gaps. I'm also going to be covering the Darth Vader the Darth Vader issues. So hopefully people enjoy it. All right, here we go. Book 1, Skywalker Strikes. It is a period of renewed hope for the rebellion. The evil Galactic Empire's greatest weapon, the Death Star, has been destroyed by the young rebel pilot Luke Skywalker. With the Imperial forces in disarray, the rebels look to press their advantage by unleashing a daring offensive throughout the far reaches of space, hoping to defeat the Empire once and for all and at last restore freedom to the galaxy. And so, here we go. So, this is Tatooine. It's kind of very cool if you look at it as it just as movement, basically. That is pretty cool. So, Tatooine Shuttle, your credentials have been approved. You're cleared for landing at Weapons Factory Alpha. Deviate from your approved flight path and you will be obliterated. Welcome to the Corellian Industrial Cluster. Great stuff here. So we got a couple of TIE fighters. A couple of... Oh my goodness, I am drawing a blank. Star Destroyers. My goodness, I can't believe. So... This isn't really Cassaday's strong suit is, this stuff. He's more of a character kind of stuff. So, but again, you can see the dry brush being utilized here on the smoke. So, welcome to Simoon 1. And so the vehicle's about to land. Here comes some stormtroopers. Outer Rim scum. I can smell them already. Be on alert. If anything seems even remotely suspicious, kill them all, says the Imperial, Would this be a commander? And so here we go. Opening the doors. Again, some dry brush here. Greetings in the name of the Emperor. He thanks you for joining us here today and hopes our negotiations prove swift and fruitful. I am Overseer Agadine. Whom do I have the honor of addressing? So, going down. The official emissary of His High Exaltedness, the illustrious Jabba the Hutt the Great, mightiest of all Hutts, master of Tatooine, and the warlord of the Outer Rim. And we see Han Solo here. But you can call me Han. Han Solo, pleasure to meet ya, Aggie. I'm sure you've heard of me. Been a pilot for Jabba for a lot of years. And so the Overseer says, yes, I'm certain you have. But we don't hear much about smugglers or gangsters in this sectors, except when they're being executed. If you'll follow me. And so this gentleman, or this identity confirmed, Han Solo, small-time smuggler and galactic pirate. And Han goes, small-time? Known associate of Jabba the Hutt, currently with a bounty on his head of 50,000 credits. Ah, I can explain that. It's a funny story, really. Some other time, perhaps. Your bodyguards must leave their weapons here. You will all be scanned for blasters. If you have hidden ones, best to turn them over freely. We don't want to start the negotiations on a sour note now, would we? And Han is like, no, we wouldn't want that. You heard the man, bodyguards. No guns. And you can see someone has Han in their crosshairs. Happens to be Chewbacca here, who's at the top of this whatever this is here. We're going in. Everyone hold your position. And we can see here this definitely looks like Leia. Oh, thank the maker. I was half expecting they would kill you all on sight. And so this sounds like C-3PO here. The subterfuge must actually be working. They believe you truly are the envoy from Jabba, when of course the real envoy was intercepted days ago by the rebel fleet. And so you see here, 3PO, shut up. Yes, of course. I'm just thrilled to see us finally operating like a sufficiently lubricated machine. It would seem the tide of war has finally turned in our favor. In short, I dare say I have a very good feeling about this. As you can see, everyone else is being escorted inside here. This issue is really good. I mean, the series of Star Wars, there are some good points, some bad points, but for the most part, it's really freaking good, I think. So, all right, and so I hope you boys are prepared for some vigorous negotiating. So you can see here they're making TIE fighters, it looks like here. If you think old Jabba is tough to bargain with, well, who do you think taught him all that, says Han. It appears you have some misconceptions about what will happen here today, Mr. Solo. There will be no bargaining, says the Overseer. So the dude says, the negotiator will deliver the Empire's terms, and you will accept them. Your organization will provide whatever raw materials we require, and will take the pay you are given without complaint. This is the largest weapons factory in the galaxy, one that runs non-stop, day and night, all fully automated. We have an entire empire to keep armed and ready. We haven't the time or inclination to bargain with every 2-bit Hutt or Moff who gets in our ways. And so Han goes, and yet, here we are. Real quick, here's some of that dry brush example. I'm a huge fan of that. So Han continues, an envoy from all the way out on the scuzziest edges of space. You boys must be pretty desperate if you're reaching out to somebody like Jabba the Hutt to be a supplier. I suppose having a ship the size of the Death Star blow up in your faces tends to run your resources a bit dry. Am I right, Aggie? The negotiator will arrive shortly. You will await him within, he says. So, I bet it's nice and quiet in there. It is shielded, yes. You know, I kind of prefer it out here where it's all loud and noisy. Don't be idiotic. Why in the world would we hold negotiations on the factory floor? And Han says, don't you remember you said yourself we aren't here to negotiate? R2? And so the guy goes, your droid appears to be leaking fluids. R2? So you can see here R2 is some kind of fuel here, and then he's going to light up a spark. And so they electrocute the stormtroopers there. And Leia and most likely Luke is the other one. Dispatch those stormtroopers here. And then this guy's like, "Oh my, this is insanity. What kind of an envoy are you?" Says Han as he hits that other stormtrooper. And he says, "The rebellious kind. Which way to the main power core?" And so, of course, we did have Luke and Leia here as Leia hits the other guy here. "Rebels, you've just doomed yourself. This moon is the most guarded, this moon is the most heavily guarded base in the galaxy. You cannot possibly escape alive." And Han says, "Let us worry about that. Which way? I'm a sworn officer of the Empire. I will never tell you." And then, of course, R2 uses that little electrocute thing, and the guy opens his eyes, and he's like, "That way." Jason Aaron, he's a great writer. Jason Aaron is one of the best modern writers out there. And Leia punches him and says, "Thanks." And so our heroes change, and Luke says, "Nice work, R2," which he beeps something. "We're move to phase 2, says Leia. "3PO, you worthless rust bucket, you better not have damaged my ship," he says. "For once, sir, the Millennium Falcon actually appears to be in good working order," says C-3PO. "As we hoped, Chewbacca was able to pilot us undetected through the moon's orbital debris field. At present, the Falcon and I are safely hidden among the rather extensive refuse fields that surround the factory. If I may say so, Captain Solo, I do find it rather disconcerting that your vessel continues to be so easily mistaken for garbage." Great ship. I don't know. Millennium Falcon is a cool ship, so... "You'll be garbage if you mess this up, Goldenrod," says Han. And C-3PO says, "There are automated sentries patrolling this area. I'm not certain how much longer I can remain undetected. I suggest you act quickly," says 3PO. "Just be ready to hit the autopilot as soon as we give you the signal." "Yes, sir. Of course, sir. May the Force be with you, sir," says C-3PO. May the Force be with us all. And here we have... I love this panel up here. Again, the dry brushing. And so, this is a central power station, says Han. "Plug in, R2, and shut down all safety restraints." And Han says, "Luke, we'll rig this thing to blow. You keep an eye out for stormtroopers." And he closes his eyes. "Your eyes can deceive you. A true Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him." And he hears a "Help us." And Luke walks down. He says, "Hello? Hello, is anyone there?" And he sees all these people imprisoned here. I will say the TV shows and the comic books really do present the Empire as just this villainous. So, fully automated, even that was a lie. "Don't worry, I'll get you out of here." And somebody from behind says, "Hey, get away from those cages unless you prefer to be in one. Who are you?" says this sentry. "These aren't the slaves you're looking for." And he says, "What?" And Luke says, "It was worth a try. I suppose we'll have to do this." And the guy goes, "You reach for that blaster, kid? I'd take your pretty face off." And he's got like, not a lightsaber, but like a light whip. "Okay, calm down. You have my words. I won't reach for my blaster," he says. And of course, he grabs the lightsaber, and then of course we see some more of the dry brush in there. And he turns on the lightsaber and uh, hits that light whip or destroys it or something. Or so this is him swinging it and cuts the dude's arm off. Again, some more of the dry brush. I really enjoy John Cassaday. I have his Captain America run. Feel free to check that out if you'd like to. I've covered it, but I don't believe I have it in a playlist at this time. So, but you can do the search on my channel for Captain America, and you should be able to find it. My name is Luke Skywalker, and I'm here in the name of the Rebel Alliance. Anyone who hates the Empire, he says, follow me. Great, absolutely great panel here, or a great splash page. Oh, so cool. Countdown started. 10 minutes to overload. Time to get moving. Luke, let's go. And Leia says, thank you, Han. Wait until we're in the Falcon a few light years away from here. Then you can thank me in style, Princess. Luke, where is that kid, says Han. No matter what happens next, I just want you to know I appreciate what you've done today, says Leia. You put your face in front of the Empire. You didn't have to do that. And Han says, I thought we agreed it was the only way to pull off this crazy stunt of yours. But now the whole galaxy will know that Han Solo is one of us. One of us? Now hold on there, Your Excellency. I'm still just a smuggler with a price on his head. I'm not. I do have one question for you, though. Why? Why would you do that? What is it you really want, Han Solo? Says Leia. Maybe now is not really the best time. And then from behind, we ready to go? I found some more passengers, says Luke, and he's got all the a few, Leia says. Slaves, Luke. They're coming with us, Leia. Sure, the more the merrier, kid. All right, guys, it's time. And so Han goes, 3PO, hit the autopilot, get the Falcon in the air. Chewie, you stand by to clear that roof as soon as we give you the signal. Then the Falcon swoops in, picks us up. We hit the hyperdrive, and then we're out of here just before. And then Chewbacca growls, "A ship coming in. What ship is here?" We all know who this is because, well. And then the stormtrooper says, "Inform the overseer. The negotiator has arrived." Again, look at the wonderful dry brush that John Cassaday employs. And so, here we go, as we see Darth Vader coming out of the ship. Look at this. Oh, I love it. I love John Cassaday's work. And so, Chewie growls through, and Han's like, "Vader," and Luke's like, "Did you say Vader?" Chewie, stand down. Do not fire. You take a shot at Darth Vader, the whole factory will be on alert. And Leia says, "Are you crazy?" Chewbacca, if you have a shot at Vader, I order you to take it. Forget about us. Killing him is more important, says Leia. Do you hear me, Chewie? Take the shot now, she says. And so, Chewbacca aims and growls. And he says, "Greetings, Lord Vader. All is made ready." And Vader says, "It had better be. Allow me to show you to your..." "Wait, I sense," says Vader. And the shot, he comes and he takes off his lightsaber, and you can see he hits the blaster. And Chewbacca shoots again. "Lord Vader, wait!" And then Darth Vader is using the stormtroopers as shields. It's pretty cool. And so he's blasting. Chewbacca ends up blasting these stormtroopers. So, the way Vader is presented, it's just, in the TV shows and the whole thing, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Vader is presented as a truly mean mother effer. So, um, he stares up there and uses the force. Chewbacca's about to shoot again, but of course you can see the whole thing crumbling because Vader's about to bring the whole thing down. And Chewbacca realizes that, so he growls and jumps out of the way. John Cassaday is a great artist. And so he says, it was a Wookiee after him. Sir, we have been unable to raise the Overseer, and now it appears the main reactor is in meltdown, says the Stormtrooper. It is a rebel attack. Put the entire moon on alert. Yes, sir, says the Stormtrooper. He is here, the rebel pilot who destroyed the Death Star. I can feel his presence. He will not escape me again, says Vader. And so Han tries to get Chewbacca on his comm. Chewie, come in. And Leia goes, we're in trouble. No, not yet. We can still... And all of a sudden, we go, alert, this factory is under attack. All guards to their stations. And Han says, now we're in trouble. And so he yells at 3PO again. We have to blast our way out of here. We still have the Falcon. 3PO, get us out of here. Hit the autopilot. And 3PO says, I did, sir. I pressed the button 5 minutes ago. I'm afraid nothing happened. And from Han yells, you useless sack of springs. What did you do to my ship? And he looks out and he says, oh dear. And sees that these things are dismantling the Falcon. It appears the Millennium Falcon is being dismantled by native scavengers. They must call these trash fields home. Well, go out there and stop them, yells Han. Me? Go out? Says 3PO. There's a blaster in the cockpit. Do whatever you have to do. 3PO. Oh dear, says 3PO, and looking at the blaster. And so, stormtroopers are outside. There they are. Open fire, says that stormtrooper. And so the prisoners are going out. And, of course, we have our trio firing back. This way, in here, says Han. And so Leia looks back. Great work, Han. If your plan was to get us trapped, how do we get out of here? And Han kind of looks up and smiles. Huh. We walk, Your Highness. And sees the AT-ATs. Everybody on board, move. An Imperial Walker. Can you even drive one of those things? I can drive anything, he says. Let's go. That is awesome. I haven't read these since they came out, so it's a pleasure reading these with you guys. So, and so Leia says, wait, where's Luke? And you can see Luke Skywalker here kind of walking. Luke, he hears a voice, and of course it's Ben. And so Luke says, Ben, is that you? Ben, he's here, Darth Vader, the man who killed my father, who killed you. I have to face him. I have to end this. Luke, listen to me carefully as he takes out his lightsaber. And Darth Vader takes his, and you can see that Obi-Wan says, run. How very cool. Look at that dry brush. So, John Cassaday is so good. Unfortunately, we only got the first 6, I believe, issues of Star Wars from him. So, this concludes our issue. It ends with this great cliffhanger here. So, Star Wars #1 from 2015, written by Jason Aaron, with the art by John Cassaday. Beautiful, beautiful. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure reading this with you. And we'll continue. Before we do Darth Vader, we'll do issue 2. Then we will start our Darth Vader. And then don't forget, there's going to be a second video with just the covers. Like and subscribe, and I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.